Hello there gang, Devere here for another Past Blast, playing a little bit of Heretic, Shadow of the Serpent Riders, released way back in 1994 by Raven Software. So let's just dive straight on in with a new game. Actually, no, let's have a quick check of the options, but this is you might notice there's a lot of options you might not be expecting to see. And that's because I'm playing this on a source port, GZ Doom. I'll explain from why when we get in, but it means you can bind modern keys, key binds, and support modern native resolutions. So just starting with a new game, as is typical of the way at the time, it's divided into chapters. You play through, pick a chapter, and then you play through sequentially through the levels. So I'll just start with the beginning, and the difficulty I'll just play Bring Us to Them on Earth. And it's just sort of the middle of the road difficulty. Playing at anything less than this, you don't really get the experience. There's no point playing at less than that, in all honesty. So yes, as I say, this is a source port I'm playing on. Now, decided to do a slight format change. A lot of, if you've seen my other videos on these kind of old school shooters, I normally play a little bit of the game the way it was originally, and then I cut to the source port. But I say, giving that some thought. You see, part of the reason this series isn't just for nostalgia goggles for us grumpy old gits, that's for sure. It's also to sort of show the modern gamer that these really good old school games are available and still playable by today's standards. And I was thinking they'd mostly see the thing that looks like basically a steaming cow pat, the way they look, these MS-DOS emulated games, and they would probably just not even give it a second thought and be like, no, not playing that. Which is just doing them a disservice, and the game, of course. And to be honest with you, even I struggle with the old school style key mappings nowadays, you know, using the arrow keys to move back and forth and to turn like this, and control to fire and things like that. Your mouse. Yeah, that seems kind of wacky by today's standards, using your mouse, but back then it made a bit more sense, of course, because we didn't have the... Oh, hello, where'd you come from? We didn't have the high sensitivity laser mice and optical mice we have today. Of course, we had the old classic rollerball. So this is basically a chainsaw, because this is, of course, built on the Doom engine, a modified version of the Doom engine. So it's definitely a lot of Doomism to it. I don't really want to take on these chaps with their gloves, because they can still punch you through it. This game's a little bit more punishing in some ways than Doom. But yes, that's why I decided it would be better to go for straight to the source port. So as you can sort of see that the game in modern resolutions is... I mean, obviously it does still show its age. But, you know, it isn't terrible. I'll come back in here. Where's he gone? There he is. Come on, in you come. Oh, now he's coming in. It's alright, they don't drop anything anyway. So yes, that's why I decided it's best to go straight to the source port. Because even I don't really play with the emulated versions of it anymore. I go straight to the source port and play it with a modern control scheme, because, yeah, not having the old strafe and the actual mouse look, especially for aiming. Of course, there's still a bit of auto aim on the weapons. That was the in thing these days, but it's not as reliable as it used to be. I think got a... So other than the obvious Doomisms, this is basically a shotgun, the crossbow. It's a bit different. You have one high-powered charge and then two low-powered charges that can independently seek enemies. This should be the end of the level. Yeah, there we go. Well, yeah, compared to Doom, this actually brings a lot of improvements, in fact, to the formula. And the first is the level design. The level design in this is absolutely excellent. So you try to snipe out long distance enemies is a lot easier. And you've actually got mouse look. Oops. In fact, I would definitely suggest that is perhaps the biggest selling point about this game. These levels are fantastic. Some really big, wide open areas. Some quite decently laid out, complex maps. Obviously, you've got usual environmental damage on some of them, as well as you've got the plenty of secrets to find. All the things you'd expect from this sort of era. So, I mean, sometimes about trying to air snipe them can be whoops. That's actually what I'm doing. Oh, come back here. Much easier. But also you have an inventory system. Now I don't have much to show at the moment. As you can see there, I've got the Tome of Power. Most of the other things like these, your health files, they're just sort of standardised pickups that you use instantly, but there are plenty of other things to find, different power-ups, and oops, don't really be doing that. I'll be a bit careful, there's a secret in there, but they can fire out at me at the moment and I can't do much about them. Also, you could fly in this game. It was one of the pickups that allowed you to fly. Again, I don't know why I'm wasting all the ammo on these low levels. I just use the gloves of power. That's about the only time you're going to use them. That's for these guys. To say they can still get through and damage you. And lots of, like Doom, it's find keys, flip switches. Of course, you also get lots of the older trap type doors like that where you... Oh! Get rid of him, so we've got... Concentrating on more pressing concerns, which are these chaps. Some good enemy designs in this game as well. Yeah, so you could pick up a pickup that allows you to fly. Oops, I was going a little bit closer. Oh, is he still going? I thought he was down. You can get the enemy to fight themselves again, like it was quite the thing in these old school games. And if you're playing on the more challenging difficulty levels, you will need them. Don't need any health. Yeah. Oh, there's another little chappy. Wow, I've started now. I shall finish. But yeah, it was the... See, there were a lot of areas in Doom where if you fell off like a walkway or a passageway, you could fall into environmental traps that you couldn't get out of. You could only basically die or restart the level. That's pretty much gone in this game, which, you know, from a gameplay balancing point of view is much better. Now, yes, sure, if I fell in a canyon in the real world, I probably wouldn't get out again. Right, now this is to be careful here. That should be safe there. Lots of little traps like this to pick up your weapons. Oh, wow, I won't worry about that. So now I've got a much more powerful weapon. Right, did I pick up that? I did pick up that key, didn't I? Yellow one, that's it. Yeah, so of all the old school Doom-like shooters, I would honestly say this one is probably my favourite. So now I've got a more powerful weapon, see how fast it wasted that. But again, right weapon for the right job. It's hard to go wrong with this shotgun equivalent. I know somebody got me from behind there. And that's, I mean, some of the weapons are a lot of the later ones are very similar to the weapons you've got now. So yeah, that red axe he just threw at me would have done a lot more damage to me than the standard green ones they fire. So yeah, there's some good enemy designs, especially some of the later ones are certainly quite challenging. Finish you off with that, might as well. Oh, it's still going. So here's a typical environmental design hazards. Those things are just basically exploding barrels. Come on, drop. Oh, definitely, you know, like old school, you want to keep moving in circles, strafing a lot. Standing still is not a good idea. Oh, these are quite handy. Now I can show you some of the... Oh, and Ring of Invincibility, which obviously is helpful for crossing that lava lake thing. See here, these are actually bombs, basically mines of sorts. And when you drop them down, they will detonate. Oops. Let's pop another one of those down. There we go. That's the way to do it. You don't want to be standing close to them either, obviously, because they will kill you just as much as they'll kill the enemies. Old school games are not particularly forgiving. Oh, do not want to get hit by that. So I haven't picked any armour up yet, have I? Map scroll. So yeah, with the other good thing with GZ Doom is, of course, if you've got it installed, any of the games that it supports. So I still haven't got the blue key. So yeah, now I've got that Ring of Invincibility, I could switch to that. Not that I would probably use it for something as easy as this. I'd only take a little bit of damage there. So that wouldn't... Bit of a waste, but... Oh, here would be a good time to show you the... Oh, blowing everyone up. Out of the way, out of the little bat thing. I was going to show you the Tome of Power, because it acts as a way of charging your weapons, so they do even more damage. As long as you don't shoot and catch your bullets on the door. Yeah, it increases everything. If I switch to this one now, this becomes a sort of death cannon. But of course, it doesn't last forever. It also means you don't really use up much more ammunition. So yeah, there's also cool little pickups. Especially later on in the game, you get some more funky things to pick up. Little spells. Because yes, you're supposed to be a mage. I should have mentioned you're Corvus, the mage, and you're here to defeat the serpent riders. He missed a switch. But yeah, of all the Doom likes, I would personally rate this as perhaps my favourite of the lot. If for nothing else, just in the level design. And especially now that you can play it with proper modern controls, it's quite the enjoyable experience. Slow and steady sniping wins the race. See, lots of good old school traps. Here's your classic. I'll just stand on here. Ching, loads of little goodies to pick up. Some health vials that you can... The purple ones are your health vials that you can use any time you like. One thing is though, you have to use these things up before you leave the level. If you leave the level, then everything resets. Unfortunately, and you're back to whatever your standard pickups were. Oh, now we've got some armour. I think we'll get around soon to concluding our dealings. I can't remember, did I pick up a key then? I think the blue one. I think I did pick it up, didn't I? Where did we say it was? Where am I going? Luckily you've got the auto mapper. Oh, it's over there. But yeah, we'll get around to concluding our dealings here anyway, gang. Heretic, Shadow of Serpent Riders, played with GZ Doom. Yeah, it still stands the test of time in all honesty. Just for that alone, the brilliant map design this game brought to you, more balanced gameplay for sure, because of the fact there aren't so many sort of instant death drops in it that there were in Doom. Good selection of little funky items to pick up, and as you can see, some challenging moments of old school FPS action. So yeah, that's what I thought. I'll just go straight to the source port version rather than faff around with the old school, which even I won't play these days in the DOSBox simulated way. I switch straight to a modern control scheme. So and I think they play much better that way. I honestly do. You see how well these levels are all quite individually separate of each other. Did I pick up a torch? I don't really have time to pick it up right about now. Let's switch back to the... there we go. Oh, you sneak behind me. Clever, clever. Tactical genius. So if you're in the mood for a fairly decent old school... Oh, and a bag of holding, so I can hold more ammunition now, even better. Yeah, now we've got the blue key. But yeah, I was going to conclude my dealings, wasn't I? And I do this every time. Forget what I'm doing and then start playing some more of the game, and next thing you know, we're 20 minutes later on in. But yeah, so if you're after a decent challenging game that's well balanced, brilliant map design, some funky little pickups, a lot of game for your money, then I say, in my humble opinion, of all the Doom clones from the era, this is one of my personal favourites. There was, of course, yeah, and strange, I forgot to mention that, because you can now buy the entire pack, which gives you Heretic, and then it gives you Hexen 2, because Hexen came after this, which we should have featured on this channel at some point. But strangely enough, it doesn't give you Heretic 2, and Heretic 2 is quite a departure from this game style. But for some reason, it's not in Steam and not on GOG.com or anywhere as far as I could see. For some reason, that never got a re-release. Not sure why. But yeah, so if you buy the pack, especially if on a sale, you get all these games. Lots of good old school shooting. As I say, they will all eventually get on my channel at some point. But I've enough for now. So again, let me know if you approve of the changes to jumping straight to a source port. As I say, I think that represents the games far better. It makes them more playable for the new modern gamer, which I really think does both the game credit as well. So thanks for taking the time to watch the video. Hope you found it useful and entertaining in some way, and as ever, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, let me know you're alive. I shall see you all next time. Bye for now.